As a deacon, many people approach me on a weekly basis with suggestions and ideas to fix the world. How come there isn't so and so ministry? People need to visit the elderly. We should really have roundtable sessions for adults. I truly appreciate their comments and ideas. Some are really great, and their interest normally seems honest. So my response to them is always the same. I tell them, "That is a great idea. When do you start? And how can I help you?" I've never seen people lose eye contact so fast. Look at the time. I gotta go. Today's gospel reminds us of that famous saying of Jesus, "No one is a prophet in his own land." This is one of those sayings that we automatically understand. As humans that we are familiar with human nature. And human nature is such that we do not expect great things happen from those we know. We tend to see the leader, the hero, the saint, as someone from a distant land with whom we share little. In fact, if some neighbor or acquaintance ends up standing out of the crowd, our reaction normally is, "Who would have guessed? He was just like another one of us." In other words, we do not expect the ordinary to produce the extraordinary. But then again, that is looking at things from a human perspective, but not God's. In His divine recipe, God's favorite ingredient is the lowly, the poor, the outcast, the normal. God takes that humble dough and makes it into the most delicious bread. All He does is to add the yeast of His grace and watch it rise. The problem is that we have read the recipe and we don't like it. We don't like it because we notice that once God's grace has fermented that dough, there is one last step. It has to bake. It has to go through the fire of His love. And of that, we are not terribly convinced. No one is a prophet in his own land. And there is no land that we consider so much our own as our very own person. And there is no prophet that we are so prompt to reject as our very own self. You might not realize it yet, but you might find the answer to your prayers much closer than you imagine. You might find it as close as your nearest mirror. In baptism, you were already crowned as king, as priest, as prophet. You do not need to try to be something you are not. You simply need to act the reality you already are. Live your life with the conviction and the commitment of the one who knows oneself a child of God. And nothing says commitment like action. I pray that we all come to understand the dignity and calling of our own reality and act on it. That through God's grace we come to change the passivity of our selfishness into the dynamism of our self-denial, the weakness of our doubts into the strength of our convictions, the coldness of our indifference into the fire of our love. And I pray that we may always see in ourselves what God has seen in us from the beginning of time, His most beloved creation, the image of His Son, the conduit of His love.